Hello everyone, and welcome back to World Warplanes. This time we'll be taking a look at the Tier 7 British fighter. It is the Spitfire 9. So, let's quick take a look at the history, then I'll give you guys a rundown of the stats and what to expect from this plane. Then I'll give you some gameplay and my thoughts on the plane. So, let's get started. First off, you can either go down from Tier 1 down to the Tornado and branch into the Spit 9. When they complete this line, I don't know if you're still going to be able to get to the Spitfire from this line, but currently that's how you can get to the Spitfire. Alternatively, you can just go straight down this line. Either choice is amazing. I think both these planes and these planes are just amazing planes overall. They all work really well. The Hurricane 1, 2, and 3 are one of my favorite, Hurricane 1, Hurricane 2, and Tornado are some of my favorite planes in the game. Alternatively, I know so many people like the Bristol 133, 146. They're really good planes, and also, people love the Spitfire 1 and 2. So, really, no matter which line you go down to get down to the Spit 9, they're both amazing. So yeah, let's take a look at the history real quick. One of the most successful modifications of the famous British Spitfire, a total of 5,656 aircraft were built. So yes, this was a mass-produced plane. It was in production the whole time throughout World War II. Not this specific modification, but the Spitfire in general was in production throughout the entirety of World War II and was used quite extensively by other countries far after World War II as well. It was a very, very successful plane, participated in the Battle of Britain on many occasions, and was regarded as one of the most iconic planes of World War II, I would say. So, in game, does it live up to its high expectation, and is it a good plane? Well, let's take a look. Let's see what Wargaming says about the plane. So, it's got machine gun and autocannon armament effective in close combat. So yes, we get 2.50 Browning machine guns and 220s. So you get two small machine guns and you also get 220s. They're all situated on the wings. I believe this is the other gun. I don't really know for sure. It doesn't really look like a gun, which is kind of strange, but I'm pretty sure that is the other gun. In any case, they're wing-mounted weaponry. You get two nice cannons and two small machine guns. I'll pop up the information so you guys can look at it for yourself. I won't really go over it, but if you want to look at it, it's right there for you guys. I'll also open up this so you guys can be looking at that while I go through the other stats, but I'm not going to be going exclusively through these. It's got low survivability. It is a fighter, so you would expect that, but it's actually higher survivability than some planes, notably like the Yak line in the Soviet tech tree and the Japanese Zeros, but it does have rather low survivability compared to other fighters at the tier. Then again, it's not really that big of an issue. It definitely has enough. It's adequate. Good airspeed and boost. Again, it's got decent airspeed. I wouldn't say it's amazing airspeed, but it definitely has power behind it, and you can definitely feel that in the way the plane performs. And the boost is really nice too. It's I think 8 seconds boost. I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, it's 8 seconds. You'll see in the gameplay regardless. High maneuverability in horizontal turns. That is definitely one of its strong points. It's probably got one of the highest maneuverability in horizontal combat out of any of the planes at Tier 7. It definitely will not outturn the Japanese Tier 7s, the A7M, and the KI-84. But it might outturn the KI-84. But I think those two are pretty parallel. I know the A7M does have better maneuverability, and there might be a couple more that have better maneuverability, but it is near the top for maneuverability at its tier. And so that's really, really good. And effective in mid-altitude maneuvering combat. Again, this is just kind of middle of the line. It doesn't have exceptional altitude performance, but it doesn't have tragic altitude performance either. You can get it to, you can force it to go up to higher altitudes if you have to. It doesn't perform that well at very high altitudes. It does do very well at low to mid altitude range. They're stating that it's just under 5,000 feet is the optimum altitude performance, which is still pretty decent. It's not exceptional, but it's not terrible. It's not tragic either. And yeah, that's about it for this plane. Basically, I would say that this plane is basically, it doesn't have too many exceptional points about it, but it doesn't have any flaws, really. There's like nothing wrong with this plane. There's nothing that you can say, this is a definitive weakness. This is a definitive weakness at all. I think one of its strongest points is its maneuverability, and it's pretty decent airspeed. So it has pretty decent airspeed for the amount of maneuverability that you get. That's definitely one of its strong points. But overall, it's really like the perfect middle of the line plane. Normally you think of the American planes being middle of the road, especially when you think about like World of Tanks and even in this game a little bit, not as much, but a little bit. It's basically they take a little bit of everything. It's like the perfect middle of the road planes, but this plane definitely fits that role as well. It is really good just because it doesn't have any weaknesses really, and I think that's why it's such a fan favorite because of that. And we'll get to my opinion on this plane a little bit later. But that's kind of the rundown of it. You can force it to go into so many different situations. You can take out bombers if you have to, which I don't recommend doing very often because the altitude performance will hinder you a little bit. But if you have to get up there, you can get your way up there. Not if it's human controlled. If it's human controlled, you're really, really going to start struggling. But I mean, most planes will anyway. But when it comes to, you know, just taking out GAs, you can do that very effectively. The 20s on this plane are fantastic, and you got the 2.50 Browning machine guns as well, which is also nice. Let's take a quick look at the service department. Running universal ammo, I don't actually have as much credits as I did before, but because I'm trying to save some money, I'll probably switch it back to standard ammo. But, you know, if you have the money for it, you know, put it on. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you got first aid kit, pneumatic restarter, control surface, adjustment trim. That's the way I always set it up. So, you know, do what you think is best. There's no right way to do it or wrong way to do it. Just do what you think is best. As in terms of upgrade paths, I would go for 20s first, then these .50 machine guns. I don't think, yeah, okay, they go on the higher tier plane, and these ones are exclusive, so you do have to research both of these. Then I would go for the airframe because it's less experience than getting to the top engine. So 20s, .50 machine guns, Spit 9 airframe, and the Merlin 66 engine will be your last module. Again, that one's exclusive to the Spit 9. I think this one is too. Oh, no, if you have the Hornet and Mosquito, you will not have to research that engine. So it might be better to go for the engine first, but, you know, do what you think is best. So that's the upgrade path. Now for equipment, I always go with gyroscopic gun sight. So it gives you 10% increased accuracy. It's always nice. And then because one of the specialities of this plane is its exceptional maneuverability, it's not like the best at the tier, but it's really good. In order to try to make it the best of the tier, go for the lightweight airframe 2, which increases your maneuverability in all axes by 3%. And then control surface adjustment trim, which increases your maneuverability in turns by 3%, which is also really nice. Alright, now that we have that, let's check out the paint schemes. And you do actually get a free paint scheme with this plane. I think it does look really nice. It makes it look quite slick. So, you know, you have that going for you. And then you also have the beta emblem sticker that you can mount on there, which makes me very happy. I love being able to put my beta sticker on there. As for crew, well, my crew is in the Spit 14 currently. So let's go take a look at my pilot in the Spit 14 and talk about what to put on this plane. So, do marksman 1 and 2 to increase your accuracy, and then aerodynamics expert and aerobatics expert. The only reason I have the fire resistance on is because I'm waiting to get my next skill point. But once I get the next skill point, I'm definitely going to switch out this skill for the aerobatics expert. I think it works really well with this plane. I definitely think that is the route to go. After that, it really just depends on what you want to do with the plane. And with that, that's about it for this hangar. I know it's pretty short, but this plane doesn't really have any major strengths that I can talk about exclusively, except for maneuverability. As long as you're using that maneuverability well, you're doing pretty good. And it doesn't have any really weaknesses that I need to stress importance on. You could basically put it in any role, every situation that you need it to go in, and it will perform pretty well. And I think that's why this is such a fan favorite, just because of that versatility in any role. It eliminates any target that you see facing it, and it's definitely not something you want to be on your tail. Spitfires are very difficult to shake. I guess one other thing I would mention, you might want to swap out first aid package, or something, one of these consumables for let's see, reinforced control surfaces. When you activate it, it'll increase your maneuverability significantly in turns by for 10 seconds. So it doesn't tell you by how much, but from people that I've heard use it, they say it makes a huge difference. So if you're getting stuck in those situations where you can't quite outturn a zero, just pop that on and you should be able to outturn them, which is pretty ridiculous. But definitely keep that in mind about when you're doing this plan and when you're setting it up. But with that, let's jump into some gameplay. Alright guys, and welcome to the gameplay. This is only a 3-sector map, which kind of makes me a little bit unhappy. I love the 5-sector layouts the most, but we'll make it work. There is an airstrip in the center, so we're going to go to the center. And we're just going to camp it like no other. This is still one of the older replays. I only have a couple more old replays left for me to use up, but I do want to use up the old replays ASAP. But yeah, the old replays should be ending pretty soon. Within the next week or two, we should have all the old replays out of the shop and in YouTube, so that's good. There's only 3 sectors. Again, we have the airstrip in the center and the 2 garrisons, so obviously the airstrip is the most important. It's what you want to hold. Now if I was flying a GA or a bomber, going for the airstrip is probably not the best idea, just because there's not as much influence that you can give by destroying ground targets, and I would much recommend going to one of the garrisons instead. But we're going in there. There's a crap ton of planes, and I really do want to highlight 2 things. First, your 12.7 millimeters, I guess they're your 50 cals. I guess that's what they are. Your 50 cals basically never overheat, which is nice. But your 20s do overheat very quickly, and they're the bread and butter of your firepower. So make sure you don't hold down the trigger too long. You want to make sure that you give your 20s enough time to cool down. Only fire when you're needing to kill something. So as you see right there, I killed the P-51D, but I had Memphis Belle on my tail, and so I died. Not a huge issue because I can just respawn back in the airstrip. That's the reason why you take the airstrip. It's nice. It doesn't reduce your respawn timer, but it does at least give you, it spawns you back in the action, so you're out of the action less. Memphis Belle, I'm sorry, but I need to get revenge on you. I really don't want you to get stuck on my tail again, because it will be a bad day for me if that happens. We're going after the LA-7. He's going to be a very simple target. You notice I'm not pulling the trigger too much at this distance because I don't want to overheat my 20s. I want to make sure that I get up closer before I unleash, just because I'll be doing more damage that way. I do ram somebody. I'm not sure if that was Carter that I rammed or the other bot, but regardless, I did ram a little bit. And yes, LA-7, nice job, Carter. You took him out very quickly. FW-190D is almost dead, so I'm going to shut him down. Never mind. Carter took him out instead. We got P-51D coming in, so he's going to die very quickly, very easily. See you later, 51D. I'll have to go down the American line eventually. We got to wait for maybe another ×5 weekend. And I really do need a hangar discount because I have all the gold that I got from Westwall, Operation Westwall, and I need to use it on hangar slots. I know most people are like, don't use gold on hangar slots, use your tokens, but I can't get hangar slots fast enough for the amount of planes that I get. So I do need a gold hangar discount soon. I really do want it. I'll buy a whole lot of hangar slots. But that's a little bit off topic. Let's get back on topic here. F7F dies very quickly. These guns are glorious. They work their targets down really, really well. I do love them a lot. We got some inbound, so we're going to take them out. FW-190D is right there. Wait for him to turn a little bit. Hold down the trigger, but I lose. My gun stopped getting on him for a little bit. So instead of holding on the trigger, I release the trigger, let my 20s cool down a little bit until I get him back in my sights. Then I open fire and destroy him. P-51D is inbound, so he's going to die super easily. And then, you know, this really is one of those planes that it feels really, really good. All the Spitfires do. They're all really good planes, but Spit 9 especially is just a gem. I do love the Spit 9. So there's P-51D again. He's down there, and he is dead. Carter stole the kill again. So that's good. LA-7's down there, so let's pick him up. Thankfully, he did not ram Carter, which makes him easy. And notice, like, once you do get up close to your target, it can be a little bit tricky sometimes getting close to your target. But once you do, it really does just do everything you want it to. They actually took the airstrip, and no other sectors have been taken at this point, which is actually kind of nice because when you have these really slow battles like this, it allows you to pick up just awesome battles. LA-7 almost got destroyed, just left him on a little sliver. Oh, I lied. Those were not garrisons. Those are missile bases. Alright, so yeah, those missile bases are important, but I think I want to use this plane as a defensive fighter, and I think the most targets will come into the center objective, and that's why I'm just going to camp it and use it as that ultimate defense plane that I think it works really well at. Memphis Belle, I'm sorry, but you got to go down. So he just crashed. He didn't want me to just stay on his tail forever. I don't blame him. It was inevitable that he was going to die anyway. So just crashing into the ground will allow you to respawn quicker. So just pretty good. I got killed again, but we did take the airstrip just beforehand, and it's locked for a few seconds. So hopefully the enemy won't be able to take it by the time I get back. Already just under Winged Legend already, so incredible. I feel bad for Memphis Belle. He's leaving because his team sucks, apparently. Memphis Belle, I'm sorry that your team sucks, but you played this pretty pathetically. You really do need... If you can't take the center objective, you need to stop trying. Our entire team is sitting in the center objective, and there's no way you're going to be able to take it. What you should have done is taken the neutral military base that nobody's taking yet. Go over there, at least kill the air defense planes, and we even have a GA over there. So, and the influence points are already in your favor. You would have been able to take the missile base, and it would have given you guys some points, and it would have put pressure on the airstrip. Then you could have gone to the airstrip, and with the assistance of the missile base, could have taken it. But you decided to give up instead. I don't blame you, because your team is having a hard time, but your team will 100% lose if you just leave like that. So, anyway, that was kind of a ramble. We got a J4M down here, so he's going to die pretty quickly as well. Get a quick burst on him, and just like that, the 20s do really nice work. The 20s feel really, really good on this plane. But yeah, we got a GA down here, so let's squall him, take him out of the game. And notice how, like, once you do get up close to the target, you do a lot more damage than when you're further behind. So squall line, there's not really a whole lot more to do, but our score is 18,000 personal points already, so it was a very nice game so far already. But let's see if we can spice it up just a little bit more. P-51D comes zipping in. LA-7 comes zipping in, and I'm just kind of doing the boom and zoom right now. I'm just going head on with anyone that comes by, weaken them, turn around, and finish them off. That is the Ace medal, which was a really nice medal to get, because I'm not shooting down bomber squadrons, so that Ace medal held a lot of value in this battle. We got superiority at this point, unfortunately, so I do not get any more kills. But it was still a good game, and I will take it. Got a crap ton of medals. You can look at them as you wish. I will not go over all of them, because you see these medals quite frequently on my channel. But that is the Spit 9. Do I think it's worth it? Yes, I think it's very worth it. I think all the Spitfires are good, but I honestly would prefer flying the Hurricane 1, Hurricane 2, and Tornado at Tier 4, 5, and 6, rather than the Bristol 146, the Spitfire 1, and the Spitfire 5. The Spitfires are in no way bad, but I just feel like I would prefer flying other planes. However, this Spitfire 9 is really good. The 20s feel exceptional. So out of all the Spitfires up to this tier, I think the Spitfire 9 is the best. And I think that's kind of the way that I feel about all Spitfires. I think as you go up each tier, I had the fear that every tier higher you went with a Spitfire, it just wouldn't feel like much of an upgrade. But I couldn't be more wrong. I think every single Spitfire that you bump up to the next tier feels better than the last. And so that means the Spit 5 is better than Spit 1, Spit 9 is better than Spit 5, and Spit 14 is better than Spit 9. And I don't mean that just like in a literal sense where you obviously get stat upgrades, but in the way that it feels, the way that it plays. I think it does work really well. But with that being said, I absolutely recommend this plane. Spitfire line is probably one of the most beautiful lines. There's no bad eggs in this entire line. They're all really good. And with that being said, I hope you guys liked the video. Please leave comments down below. Do you guys like the Spitfire 9 as well? And I will catch you next time.